Hello everybody. Hello. My name is Mason Madoy. I'm a forensic scientist from the far-off future year of 20XDX. And this is Sherlock Holmes. Today we begin our push to actually get some answers out of this game, starting with finishing off our work with the police. Now, our current police case involves this. Two men were found dead near an open grave at the cemetery. Both victims had bite marks on their necks. The victims were John Bowden, a graveyard keeper, and Saeed Hafez, an assistant professor at Cordona Medical School. Our suspects are Hamil Arki, a tanner, and Camille Arki, a deceased reported vampire. This ought to be fun. So Hamil, as you probably guessed, is the brother of the recently deceased Camille. We tried to make him talk, but he's a hard nut to crack. His neighbor saw him leaving his house to put flowers on his sister's grave. They say he returned at dawn, looking dirty and tired. Just in case, we also made him eat garlic. No reaction. Okay, so the victim was the first victim, the graveyard keeper, potential witness, maybe not the target, or maybe that's just what the culprit wants us to think. Was knocked unconscious before being punctured. The second victim, Saeed, the medical professor, had a cut on his leg, blood force trauma on his head, 2 puncture wounds on his neck, again, but this time, the blow to the head was the cause of death. So, first obvious suspicion, without looking at the evidence, would be that Saeed was killed. There was a struggle, there was a cut on his leg, he was bludgeoned unconscious, then the culprit had the idea to make it look like a vampire. Hence the jabs to the neck. And also, the gravekeeper caught him by surprise, knocked him unconscious, killed him by stabbing him in the neck. There was no murderous intent beforehand, hence the blunt force not being enough to kill him. But as we all know, it is a mistake to theorize ahead of one's data because it biases the judgment. Okay, now let's hear the reporter's testimony. I've always had a nose for a good story. This is just what all journalists sound like. I've always had a nose for a good story. I was strolling about the cemetery when I saw him, the necromancer. I'm not joking, he raised a woman from the grave and ordered her to attack the 2 men who were close by. Then they both turned into bats and flew away. I was too scared to take photographs of them, but I photographed their victims. This'll be a front pager. I'm sure. And a vagrant's testimony. I was having my supper when Johnny came to dig another grave as usual. There was someone else with him too. Must have dozed off for a while, but when I woke up everything was a blur. Screaming, howling, then flashes of lightning, but no thunder. Some devilry was at work. I came out to see what was happening, and there was this reporter, Leonard or something. He told me that a vampire had killed those 2 people mere yards from me. Boy, am I lucky to be alive. I guess all journalists are 40s journalists at heart. Exactly, Walter. Okay. John, please clear out your alerts. They're very distracting. Okay. So we know that something made a suspicious flash, regardless of how suspicious the witnesses are. So let's see what we have to report.
The flowers are still fresh.
Didn't we pick up this case like 3 days ago? Anyway, a hat. You can tell a lot about a man by his hat.
This is a somewhat neglected and dusty hat.
For example, some people don't like hats. Anyway, look at this rock.
The stone is rather unwieldy, so it couldn't be used as a weapon. Someone fell and hit their head on it.
Lack of premeditation. For whoever this blood belongs to, we don't know about the other one.
We're dealing with a very immoderate bloodsucker here.
Okay. Anything to report from the camera? No. John, report.
Shouldn't we have brought some wooden stakes with us? Or at least garlic?
Which of these graves is the one we should be concerned with? So it looks like the crime happened near here. Here's another fallen hat. My god, it's like a Team Fortress 2 mating up in
An
here.
expensive hat with a few grey hairs stuck to the brim.
Gray hairs. One of the victims was 57, if I recall.
Someone tore their trousers here.
Man, and I bet he thought he had everybody on his side, too. And he went and blew it all sky high. Now they won't even spare a pass. Ooh, like a shovel.
The blade is bent from the impact. The bleeding wasn't severe, there are just a few drops.
So, if the bleeding wasn't severe, this was probably a less serious injury. So this... or no. Intracranial hemorrhaging. Graveyard bonker. So I would imagine... Yeah, our culprit, whoever they are, we don't know yet, wonked the medical professor over the head here with a shovel, and jabbed him in the neck to make it look like a vampire. Or more likely, they bonked him, the graveyard keeper saw him, chased him down, pushed him over, he hit his head on a rock. Then he came up with the idea to jab both of them in the neck to make it look like the work of a vampire. A vampire.
It's not very polite to just drop in on someone unannounced.
Now, what does this grave have to report? Here we see a bottle. What is in the bottle?
The label is illegible.
Uh-huh. Tools. Come on, yeah, something's missing. I can see
Like a
it,
set of
game.
surgical instruments. One is missing.
Scalpel. Wouldn't have been my first choice to fake a vampire attack, but then again, I guess the culprit had it on hand. Alright, I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that whatever this was, it could have been used to make that flash. Okay. If we add it up to 4, then make it negative, then we can take this 4, add 2. No, that's the wrong symbol. Add it up to make 6, and I'll have another one. Mix them together, and confirm. It is formalin, which is used for embalming corpses. Walter, I think you might be onto something. Grave robbery. The Platonic ideal of a crime that only exists when legitimate methods are underfunded.
This must be the vagrant shelter. Quite homely, if you don't mind sleeping next to the corpses.
So, if we assume that this is where our vagrant slept...
Do we have any marshmallows?
Then what does that mean? Okay, we don't need to talk to anybody. Doubt there's gonna be anything back here. No. I mean, if you were an orphan and you saw a guy dressed in this fancy suit walking around, you'd probably be hostile to him too. People don't know we're a super genius. Probably look like just some rich ponce going on a poverty tour. There's the hat. There's the bloodstain. What have I missed out on? Oh boy, good eating.
Nicely roasted.
You get a nice, even browning across both sides of the rat. And squeeze it so the juices all come out. Oh, he was just hallucinating. That's disappointing. Don't mix drugs and alcohol, you fool.
The most destitute always somehow manage to scrape together enough for a drink.
Okay, so the hobo was hallucinating and the journalist is just raking mud to make the story more interesting. Okay, I get what's happening. You always have money for booze, sometimes you have no money because all of it goes on booze. Pretty much. Okay, I feel fairly confident that I already understand what's happening here. I'm not sure what the game is trying to spring on me. So this is where the murder play area begins. There is where the scalpel is missing from. There's yet more to be found here, apparently. There you are. We've run out of fresh cadavers for this section. You know what to do, Professor Shelley. Yep. That's the story. Okay. No, it wasn't a real vampire. It was a dude with a scalpel. Okay, we know all three of these people arrived, but I assume this is what they're going for. wasn't a vampire, John. Yep, 2 more on the neck. Nice squishy noises. Not at all sure what those are meant to represent visual-like. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm beginning to think these 2 cases do not have the same culprit. So, ergo... Okay, this is where the complicated part happens. Alright, so here's what we know for certain. Somebody arrived at the cemetery, probably saw John Bowden, probably saw Saeed digging up the body. Saeed, which of you was Saeed? Saw Saeed digging up the body. And Saeed, in a impulse, killed him to cover up the crime. I'd say this would be much easier if I could, like, just look visual, like, have some way of telling who is the culprit here. Like, which of these suspects is which, and then... put 2 holes in him to cover up the crime. Now then, Saeed himself was killed by the blow on this rock here. We can tell because there's less blood. To make the most likely suspect... journalist. Okay. The journalist who was there Wait, you're the journalist, okay. Which of these people is Professor What's-His-Face? You look like a graveyard keeper. Okay, you're the Vagrant. Vagrant is the guy in the flat cap. Are you the journalist? That is how I'm meant to be interpreting this, correct? Okay, this guy. Journalist is the guy with the glasses and the mustache. So I guess by process of elimination, this is the assistant professor. So the assistant professor killed the graveyard keeper because he was caught doing grave robbing. He went to make it look like the work of a vampire. And as he was leaving the crime scene, he was caught standing over the body by the journalist. Who in turn... No, but am I missing something? The existence of this who picked up the scalpel in the first place kind of makes it look like there was one culprit who came up with the idea of making it look like a vampire. By process of elimination, that must be the journalist. The hobo was drinking and doing hallucinogenic shrooms at the same time, which explains why he saw the flash. And the other two suspects are dead. The journalist is the only one who doesn't have an innocent explanation as to why he thinks there is a vampire in the first place. Okay. So Professor What's-His-Face, I really hope that's him. Kills the graveyard keeper with the spade or shovel or whatever it is for walking in on him committing grave robbing, which is, last I checked, still a crime. The journalist catches him with his camera, so he has to be they wind up struggling. The professor falls over, hits his head. The journalist has the idea to make it look like a crime committed by a vampire by stabbing both the victims in the neck with a scalpel, not realizing that the professor is not yet dead and this is his cause of death. He picks up the scalpels. I think I have it.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Okay, I'd really appreciate some direction here. Honestly, my biggest sticking point is that I'm not sure which of the models we have to work with here map to our suspects. Is this... We don't have any pictures of these guys in our... Yeah, we don't have any pictures of these guys in our court record, I guess. that guy over there. That guy over there is the professor. The professor is the one with him. This guy's bald. That guy's a vampire. That guy has a beard. So if this is the professor, then who the hell is the journalist? Camille. So Camille is a tanner. Is that Camille? Okay, there's Camille. Camille is bald. Here's the... The tanner walks in. I guess if we figure Camille was the culprit because he had a strong motive, what with the victim? Okay, not the victim, but the grave he was digging up belonging to his brother. So then the question of the hour is, who was responsible for puncturing the victim's neck? The professor, or the first victim's neck, the professor, or...
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Tanner.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Okay, I don't understand what this point even is. We know all three of these people came to the crime scene at some point. And I'm still just kind of guessing as to who these people actually are. Okay, so full head of hair, and I can't zoom in. This body belongs to the professor, we are sure of that. One digging up this grave is wearing that wide-brimmed hat. Dude, that's the tanner. That's the vampire. Who is this? Is this the journalist? Is this the professor? I don't know. Slight cut to the leg. Saeed had a slight cut to the leg. It's not even that there's too many people, Walter. It's that I have no idea what any of these people look like. It seems reasonable to assume that the one digging up the grave was the professor. Okay, the reason there was so little blood around the professor's body was because it wasn't hacked up by someone with medical knowledge, unlike the body of the gravekeeper. So the culprit behind the gravekeeper's murder was the professor. I am absolutely certain of that. Problem is I don't know which of these models belongs to the professor. That certainly looks the most professor-like. Let's see, he's not wearing suspenders, he's just got a t-shirt and pants. It certainly looks like the correct body. See, Tanner's bald. I think it was the Tanner. If we assume the professor did it, it's safe to assume he did it first, seeing as how he's now dead, thus he'd be the one getting the stuff. Okay, hat and beard is the vagrant. I don't suspect the vagrant of doing anything. He was hallucinating at the time.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Could you please tell me, like, what I'm doing wrong? Or who these people
You're
are?
not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Just something to work with? Literally anything.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Who is this? Who is this guy? Why does he appear in my perfect case? Okay, so this guy with the hat is the graveyard keeper. This guy with the full head of hair is the professor. This guy with the basket of flowers is the tanner. Who has motive to kill the graveyard keeper? I'm very secure in the understanding that the professor was the one who did the first instance of stabbing, because the puncture wounds to the neck hit the carotid artery, resulting in massive blood loss, whereas the second one, the major vessels were missed, suggesting that the culprit was not someone with anatomy knowledge, which, conversely, means the first one was committed by someone who did have anatomy knowledge, hence the professor of medicine. Okay. Hey, how's the investigation going today? Alright, Desmere. We're getting kind of stuck on this visual representation section on account of the game does not actually give us any visual references for our suspects, so I'm kind of having to go through and use process of elimination to figure out which of these character models corresponds to the people I know are the culprit. Okay, so this guy has glasses and nice clothes. I think he's the professor. And also this body over here is dressed similarly, even though the camera cannot rotate in a direction where I can actually look at his face. So this guy is the only one who has motive to kill the graveyard keeper, and the only one with the medical knowledge to actually hit him in the arteries. To make it look like a vampire did it after the fact. A few drops of blood nearby the shovel. A pool of blood near the rock. Okay. He would have been the one to get his own scalpel. God, game. He would have been the one to get his own scalpel up from the blade, because he must have done this before his own death, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to do it, and no one else had the know-how. The Vagrant is just here, we can't really do anything with him. Then, as he was walking over to the exit, he was confronted by the tanner coming to visit his brother's grave, saw that he had just dug up his brother's grave, then killed a person. There was a struggle, the professor fell over, hit his head, and he followed his own example to make it look like the work of a single culprit.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
I don't understand what part of this story doesn't check out.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Game. What are you trying to convey? Nothing you're saying makes a goddamn bit of sense.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Game, just saying concentrate does not make the problems on your side of the equation go away.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
I do not see any flaws in my interpretation of events. Nobody other than the professor has motive to kill the graveyard keeper. And nobody other than the professor has the medical know-how to hit the arteries while making it look like the work of a vampire. Ergo, the professor must have been the one to pick up the scalpel to begin with. The tanner walked in on him. The tanner pushed him over, he hit his head on the rock, and the tanner was the one to stab him in the neck. Can't have been the graveyard keeper because he was already dead at the time, and it can hardly have been the victim stabbing himself.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
What am I missing here? The only real sticking point I see here is this bit where the graveyard keeper is just kind of standing there. But these two options make even less sense.
An expensive hat with a few grey hairs stuck to the brim.
If this hat is expensive, it probably belongs to the professor. There isn't a lot of blood here.
We're dealing with a very immoderate bloodsucker here.
This hat.
This is a somewhat neglected and dusty hat.
And the flowers are nearby. Everything points to the tanner having killed the gravekeeper here. Wait a minute. Or... no, the tanner having killed the professor here, rather. And further up, closer to the grave... here's where the vagrant was watching from. Here's the police line. God damn it, half the time the hardest part of these cases is finding where the freaking crime scenes are. You have a shovel.
The blade is bent from the impact. The bleeding wasn't severe, there are just a few drops.
So there's more blood by the rock. There's more blood by the rock than the spade. So am I wrong about who these people are? Was this one the work of the professor? Tanner walked in on him killing his someone while trying to dig up his brother's body. Killed him. Stabbed him in the neck. What would that make this? Would that make this the professor's body? Then who? God, just name tags, just floating name tags above the models would make this so much easier. You can't ask me to puzzle out these models' identities by comparing faces when I can't see the faces on half the model because the camera doesn't turn that far. Okay, so this is where the spade was. There's a few drops of blood near the shovel. So this was committed by the person who doesn't have medical know-how. Ergo, this guy. Which of these models belongs to the professor? It can't not be the professor. He's the only one with the ability to accurately hit an artery. Blunt force trauma to the leg. Blunt force trauma to the head. Minimal blood loss.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
It's freaking Mr. Mustachio over here. This... Okay. The vagrant isn't a killer.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Game, I'm getting very cross with you. That's the Tanner. That's... Is this the professor or the journalist? I don't know. I don't know what either of these men look like. I've never seen them outside of this specific minigame. And you won't tell me which of them they are. That's the Tanner. This is the vagrant. The professor has like 2 seams in the back of his pants. That's something.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Gabe, do you think I'm not petty enough to just sit down and
You're not even trying, Sherry.
brute force this with a like chart of every possible combinations or something?
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
It's gotta be him picking up the scalpel because the scalpel isn't here. That'll take a lot of time, as opposed to what we're doing now, Walter. I don't understand what part of this is wrong. In the previous games by this company, when you did the visual recreation minigame, when you hit submit, they'd actually play through it like animated, and it would stop at the first one you got wrong. How the hell have you degraded? How the hell have you degraded with such a major budget upgrade?
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
See, I can't tell what part of this is wrong because I can't tell what half of these points are.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Just a single static image of a man standing is not a recreation. This is the only one I'm absolutely certain is the professor, and I can't see his face, because he's lying face down on the floor. So for all these other ones where I have to select the culprit, I don't know if the professor is an option, which is kind of important. We know this guy is the vagrant. The vagrant isn't the culprit. The vagrant has to be the one who hallucinated the vampires, and none of these look like attempts to make the vampire be dead. The one killed with the shovel was the one who did not bleed a lot. Ergo it is the professor. Is this... There's the shovel. Ergo this body belongs to the professor. Is it just a case of this guy being the journalist then, and the journalist being the one responsible for both jabbings? It doesn't make sense, though. There's a difference in the amount of blood coming from the two wounds, specifically because...
The brother of the deceased became furious when he caught the anatomist exhuming his sister's body. He killed him with a shovel. The graveyard keeper took to his heels, but didn't get far. He fell, hitting his head on a stone, which rendered him unconscious. With the murderer gone, the reporter who was hiding punctured the neck of the first victim to imitate a bite. But when he did the same to the second victim, he killed an unconscious man. So we have 2 murders and 2 murderers, but no vampires.
Vampires are not so scary when you have grave robbers and journalists running around.
Okay, those of you following along at home may recall that that was literally my first assumption. As those of you who've been following since the beginning of the episode may recall, that was literally the first thing I said upon seeing the crime scene. All of that puzzle was just, who the hell are these people? Give me my goddamn money, this wasn't worth it.
Do you believe in vampires?
Hey? What do vampires have to do with anything?
Oh, that's exactly what I thought while looking into the murders at the cemetery. The primary suspect is indeed the murderer, but he's not the only one. The reporter, who so easily fooled everyone with his vampire stories, killed the other victim.
But why would he do that?
He believed the unconscious man to be dead, and decided to concoct a thrilling story for his readers.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. I'll have the conniving little scrub taken in immediately. There's only one case left. Don't let me stop you.
Alright, that's an hour of my life I'm never gonna get back. Better be worth it. Report number 1813. 4 persons were arrested for theft, property damage, and debauchery. Debauchery. The four comprised of 3 women dressed in robes and animal masks and a priest. Presumably after walking into a bar, the suspects have been charged with stealing and slaughtering a goat in the forest ruins to the west of the cemetery. For this cruel act, they will be prosecuted accordingly. However, the victim has requested to specifically identify who stole his goats. Testimonies of all involved parties are attached to the case. The victim's testimony. Wooly was the best goat I ever owned. Their fur oil. Pro TMI. He'd charge anything red, but otherwise it was calm as a cat. I was inside when he was stolen. By the time we ran out, they were gone, but I saw that thief was wearing a mask. I must know who did it. Please put Mr. Placido onto this. He busted my neighbour for running a gambling den with but a single look at his clothes. I'm sure he'll solve this in a jiffy. The priest is still tipsy. I came to the ruins to save his lost souls and stop their horrid ritual. I found dots that I hid in the bushes. I had to get the courage, mind you. I didn't see any goats. Stumbled. I gasped as they noticed me. One fell, tied me up, and the other, in a lion mask, forced me to drink wine. I don't know where the third woman was, but when they stopped tormenting me, the goat had appeared. So it wasn't the lion. The green ox mask is limping. I couldn't steal the goat even if I wanted to. I sprained my ankle during the dance. It was the priest who brought us the goat. He may be all holier than thou now, but he clearly wanted to join our bacchanalia. The woman with the red lion mask has a large bruise on her side. I broke an amphora with very expensive wine because of that goat. He was probably rabid. But I should have known better than to steal this crazy animal. I've had enough. This is the first time I take part in these rituals. I already have 3 lovers. That's more than enough. And the blackbird. We gathered to perform a ritual which would make men desire us above all else. We were dancing when we noticed someone spying us from the bushes. It was the priest. I ordered the others to get him drunk. No one must witness our ritual while sober because it insults the god of rapture. Oh, and about the goat, it was the lion's responsibility to bring it to the ruins. Okay. Slaughtering a goat in the forest ruins to the west of the cemetery. God, we were just there. Warehouse. Silver Mines Monument. Flowers Good. Miners Market. Kimball's Cemetery. Alright. At least the culprits this time are wearing masks, so we shouldn't have any difficulty trying to puzzle out which of them are which. Jesus. Visiting the forest is super simple. All you must do is follow these patterns for the rest of your gaming life. Alright. Tell me everything. There's the wine.
My gut tells me some dark magic happened here.
Multiple bare footprints. I should examine them more closely.
And why don't you?
Someone stumbled on a stone and fell to the ground. The rope is soaked with wine.
Interesting, very interesting, I'm sure.
The goat was torn to pieces. Ugh. Savagery.
Rip goat. Truly he was. The goats.
Multiple bare footprints. I should examine them more closely.
And what have we here? Absolutely nothing.
The robe is soaked with wine. The hoof prints end in deep furrows. The animal was resisting.
Understandable enough.
Hope you haven't had your lunch yet. This one's bad.
Is this the way they came in? What charge of anything red? Does that include the red lion? That would explain why she was so banged up.
My gut tells me some dark magic happened here.
Alright, and there's another piece of evidence we haven't seen yet. Otherwise the game would have just let us handle this already. There you are.
The priest said that he came here to stop the ritual. Did you really, Father?
Alright, this one should be easier at least. Okay, this is where the goat was sacrificed. On the altar of whatever these people are up to. Why did you color code them if it was going to be in black and white? Okay. So according to the priest's testimony, the one who fell tied me up, the one in the lion mask force-fed me wine. There's the lion mask. The one who fell tied me up. Let's see. Large bruise on her side. Limping. So, Green Ox fell. Ergo, Green Ox is the one who tied the priest up, and the other one is the one who grabbed the goats while they were over there. Lion should be the one who got headbutted, both because she was wearing red and because she was bruised quite severely. Now, here, this looks like a pretty smooth transition, but I don't know if they want us to say, this is how it got here originally, or this is how the goats, like, this is how the wine got knocked over, but this is the thief we're looking for, which would make it Blackbird if the priest's testimony can be trusted. Okay, over here is where Ox fell over. Over here at game, camera. Okay, what have I not gotten yet? I will look over all this land and I shall call it this land. There's one over here. One of them stumbled, I guess they noticed me. The one who fell tied me up. The other in a lion mask forced me to drink wine. Bird should have known better than to steal this crazy animal. I've had enough. This is the last time So Bird was the one who ordered the other two to do the stealing. So I found them dancing, I hid in the bushes only to gather courage, I didn't see any goats. Lion forced me to drink wine. Ox tied me up, the third woman brought the goats. So it should be bird. Assuming that's what the game wants me to convey via this point.
So, we have 3 lusty women engaged in a ritual. They're drinking and dancing when suddenly they hear a noise from the bushes. Their ritual seems to be working. There's a man they can get drunk already. While 2 of them are busy with the priest, the 3rd one leaves. She is the one who stole the goat and brought it to the ritual. The poor animal smells trouble and charges at the drunken woman with the amphora. Still, he couldn't break free, and at the end was brutally torn apart and eaten alive.
Well, they attracted the attention of men. The police, at least.
Hey, we did it. Alright. It's amazing how much easier solving crimes is when you have the slightest idea who the people you're accusing are.
Mr. Holmes, I have great news. Our recent accomplishments have earned me a promotion. Sergeant Stark. It has a nice ring to it, hasn't it?
Please accept my congratulations, Sergeant. Your part in solving those cases was invaluable.
Come, Mr. Holmes, your part was just as important. Not without my guidance, of course, but you did an excellent job. Anyway, I'll be moving back to the office space. My days at this blasted desk are almost over. I won't be scapegoated now.
Good for you, I suppose. Speaking of scapegoats, I've solved the last case on the board. The goat was stolen by the lady in the blackbird mask. As if that makes any difference, judging by the atrocity I witnessed at the crime scene.
Yes, I heard about that one. The things women get up to these days. Ugh.
Well, I'm glad to have been of service. Now I have other matters to attend to.
Mr. Holmes, if I may be so bold as to make one last request. Do you remember that I told you that our chief inspector has been missing for a few months now? My current task is to establish his fate. I've tried to make sense of his last case, but it's a convoluted mess. I would really appreciate your help.
Man, I liked you before, but if you're gonna get a big head about it...
Why don't you do it yourself? I'm sure there's nothing in that case a police sergeant can't handle.
You're simply much better at it than me. There, I said it.
I won't argue with that, although much better is still an understatement.
Alright. That's all I needed.
Fine, you have me intrigued.
Thank you awfully, Mr. Holmes.
Tell me everything you know.
I don't know much. Just that it's connected to a gang called the Hive. Placido has been after their leader, the Hive Master, for years. But otherwise, I can't make head nor tail of it. Here, take the key to Placido's office. You might find some leads in there.
This place has a lot of gangs.
So is it Chief Inspector Placido who has vanished? From what I've gathered, he was a good detective.
Ain't that the truth? He was solving cases like shelling peas. Without him, things have gone downhill. He was a crotchety sort, always grumbling, fussing, taking his snuff by the handful, but I, for one, miss the old boy.
Very well, I'll see what I can find out.
One thing is certain. It's a dangerous business. Be careful, Mr. Holmes.
Alright. I've been wondering about this since we started the game. Let's see what's what. The evidence room. Chief Inspector Placido's office.
The files are gone, that's odd.
Completely clean this place out.
Hive Master. Crime lords just love catchy monikers.
Isn't the Hive Master that one guy from the Marvel Universe who was a Nazi who did an experiment that transformed him into a hive mind of bees? And his gun's missing.
This must have been an award for long and faithful service. box of snuff. Strong stuff.
And here we have, is this not evidence? Okay, here's a newspaper. The Cardona Chronicle, May 1877. Hive Gang Police Raid. Is the Hive Master dead? For Police Inspector Luciano J. Placido, the night of May 13th ended in gunshots, a blazing fire, lost comrades, and the label of hero. After investigation lasting several years, Inspector Placido led his squad on a raid to shut down the operations of the infamous Hive Master and his crime syndicate, the Hive. The largest of the gang's warehouses, also dubbed B Yards, was raided in Miner's End. Although the operation was thoroughly planned, the police encountered serious opposition and were outnumbered. The gang set the warehouse on fire, ambushed the officers, and engaged them in a gunfight. We have received confirmation from several sources that Inspector Placido managed to corner the Hive Master, the gang leader subsequently perishing in a failed attempt to escape from the burning warehouse. As a result of the operation, Placido was promoted to the position of Chief Inspector. We congratulate the hero and are already preparing an exclusive interview with the governor that will include an official statement on the operation. So it sounds, at first blush, like the case is already resolved. So then, why is the inspector missing? We've been through this before, and you know well that I cannot allow it. You are an indispensable asset to this department, Placido. Sorry, but your retirement is out of the question. We need you now more than ever. The city needs you. Think about it, won't you? Thank you. Chief Constable Donovan. So our boy wanted to retire after resolving his greatest case. Okay, this is everything in the room.
I can almost picture you as an inspector, Sherlock. You'd lie on his sofa all day and still solve more cases and arrested the police.
Okay, so... And yet... Secret behind the portraits?
Now that is odd, to say the least.
What an eerie tale. Oh ho ho ho. A collection of local and nationwide newspaper articles all mention the Hive and the Hive Master. They are organized chronologically. Chief Inspector Placido has been collecting information on this gang for years. May 1875, when they first showed up. January 1876, they start supplying Irish nationalists with weapons. October 1876, the Master is still a mystery. 1878, police corruption controversy, an officer spills the truth. June 1878, no more free speech, independent newspaper raided by police. February 1879, 5 civilians dead, 10 injured. April 1879, former Cardona Chronicle reporter missing. December 1879, police corruption charges dropped. One must wonder. The Placido's notes on the Hive Master. Last page reads Beatrice Queen. The City Hall records say Miners End 1877. Same year, same district as the gunfight. Was he right under my nose all along?
Let's take the ear, Sherry. It'll bring us luck. You'll see.
Good lord, you can't be serious.
Nice. Always play it by ear, pal.
Alright, what else? There's more here. Was there more here? No, but we do have archives. City Hall records, Beatrice Queen, Miners End, 1877. So the Hive Master, Master of the Hive, works out of the Beehive. And works... And their name is Queen. Man, I knew this reminded me of a comic book, but really? Really now, my child? Okay, City Hall.
A contest for the guests of Cordona.
I don't think we're gonna do that. We have deeds to perform. Alright.
Have you found anything helpful?
Okay, one of these leads to the archive. And Tommy doesn't want to talk to us anymore. Pity, we were getting along so well. Okay. (1877) Miner's End. People? Queen, Beatrice. Business entity registered in 1877. Documents filed for closure January 1880. Property registered in the name The Warehouse in Miner's End. Sold in February 1880. A distillery in Miner's End. Shut down February 1880. A villa in Grand Surrey. Auctioned off for charity March 1880. And a warehouse in Miner's End. Currently for sale. Located on Clay Street by Stevenson's Bridge. To Silverton. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Clay Street. Okay, the bridge from Miner's End to Silverton. On Clay Street. Oh, Chief Inspector, what are you up to? I want to have a little more faith in the band, but that ear is not a good sign. Okay, here's Clay Street. Now where is our vaunted building? Currently for sale, located on Clay Street by Stevenson's Bridge to Silverton.
Clearing out on Hive Master's orders. Cornelius said he knows what he looks like, but he's full of it.
Man, I love but my job is easy. Who saw the Hive Master? Contacts through proxies, typed messages. Nope.
Clearing out on Hive Master.
The rank and file of the Hive don't know what their boss looks like. They've never seen the Hive Master in person. Okay. But if the building is for sale...
There are some chaps inside, and they're armed. Be careful, Sherry.
Not dealing with this today. Okay, one of these doors is gonna open. Such is the nature of doors. That's the way we came in. Key to the office. Excuse me.
Smells of burnt paper. Just another day in a smuggler's office.
Everything knits together.
Ayy. Anything else? Well, I can clearly see that there's more here. Letter from HM. Burn the documents, prepare the goods, I will deal with the apiary. Okay, we get it, you have a theme. Jeez. This shipment will be your last. If you are on the ship, you will be taken care of. If not, you're on your own. HM, the Queen. I can't spare any boys, Cal. Too busy wrapping up, same as you. The boss has gone soft, shutting down when we have the island in our pockets. Makes no sense to me. And what's with the letters? He never contacted us directly before. I'd be a field to cross him, but I sure as hell am not leaving. There's still no easy pickings to be had here, hive or no hive. If it was so out of character for the boss to leave, then it may not have been the boss who sent the letter. The thing about masks is that anybody can put them on.
Someone's been burning papers, I see.
Nice shooting, Tex. Alright. Let's see if we can't scour the soot off of this bad boy. Okay. 3, 6, 7, 3, 6, no, 7, 8, 4, 8, 8, 12, no, 9, 10, make it negative, make this negative now, subtract, easy money. I managed to restore some fragments. Beeswax to Vallon, 50 crates of yarn to Dublin, honeycombs to Thessalo. Something. Right? We've got to talk to somebody about that. We should probably put on our criminal wear. See, what's a nice criminally mustache? Yeah, stubble, as we all know, all criminals are bad at shaving. Okay. You're allowed to be a criminal when you're old. Not if you wear lipstick. Fake bruises, a scarred face, black eye, just anything that makes us look rough and tumble. Yeah, that's a criminal if ever I've seen one. Believe me, I have.
What a convenient way to pull the wool over the eyes of the customs house.
Would it really be that easy? Okay, the game is now informing us that we have finished clearing this place out. So, let's make like trees and get out of here. Okay, where's the exit? There you are. Step on outside. Look for someone who looks thuggish and criminalistic. Yep. That's just a pair of good, honest citizens.
Good heavens. You heard how the priest was butchered?
Oh god, what now? People are talking about a priest who was found dead with his head severed. The only item that the police were able to find was a saw lying next to the body. Despite an ongoing investigation, people are worried at the... Oh god, what now? I thought we were almost done here. And then if I could just find... Alright, I have faith that the priest will stay till I come, so let's finish this up first. You don't look like a criminal, do you? No. Maybe on the other side of the bridge we'll have better luck.
Nice to see you.
What a nice young man. That's literally a cop. Say that with social anxiety, it seems like a weird combination. Right, one of you motherfuckers has done a crime in your life. If nothing else, I know there's going to be criminals at the warehouse. Now, they're going to be the wrong gang, but I don't think the programmers thought that far ahead. Or you.
Do you know anything about this?
Brother, you found the right person to ask.
Find the apiary to the west of Wiggins Street in northern Miner's End. That's warned me not to go there, which according to the laws of video games means I have to go there. Northern Miners End, Wiggins Street. That is pretty far north.
Nothing new for you, I'm afraid.
Circle the long way round because of modern urban city design. If we just move past all of these children, we will get there eventually, though. Never fear. There are crimes, and they shall be solved. Just as soon as we get there.
Excuse me, just one question.
Sorry, mister. Can't help you. Ask someone else.
I was looking down and I was thinking, man, what is that pile at my feet? It turns out it was a human being. Man, the things that happen to you when you play too many mysteries. But enough about that, look at that chicken. Moves so smoothly. We're here.
Excuse me, just one question.
I can't say I've ever heard about that.
To the west of Wiggin Street. So somewhere over here.
Get off me! Sherry, don't even think about breeding these nasty things. Ugh. Get off me! Sherry, don't even think about breeding these nasty things. Ugh.
You see, it's funny because after Sherlock retired, he became a beekeeper. Foreshadowing is a literary device. And so the apiary is in fact an apiary. Is honey smuggling a thing? I mean, everything can be smuggled eventually. It looks like our disguise has worn out its use here. Is there anything to do outside here? Signs are pointing to no. So let's move in. Can't move in.
Sir, I'm looking for a man who goes by the name of Hive Master.
Uh-huh.
Got a lot of bee stings on you. And you take snuff. And you're missing an ear. And you carry a 6-shot revolver. Inspector Placido was a gruff man who used a lot of snuff.
Chief Inspector Placido.
And what makes you think that?
Why, your missing ear, amongst other things. You need a larger hat. I've been investigating your last case on behalf of Sergeant Stark. And now I think I understand what happened to the Hive Master.
Humor me.
We have reason to believe he's dead.
You killed him, didn't you?
Huh. You're sharp, son. I'll give you that.
But why? Everyone deserves a trial.
Wasn't my choice. He and his thugs attacked me when I went to arrest them. It was a kill or be killed kind of situation. Turned out for the best, though. With his cronies dead, not a soul knows what the Hive Master looks like. His own gang, scared stiff of him.
So you assumed his place to dismantle this criminal enterprise from within?
Damn right I did. And after I'm done, I'm not planning to go back. I've had enough of this rotten nest of corruption. But it just won't leave me alone, will it? First, they dismiss my retirement requests, and now they send a sleuth after me.
It's not like that.
I tell you what it's like, son. This is not the first case you've worked on for Stark, huh? That amateur promoted to a sergeant for his merits? I don't think so. You're not an officer. But from what I can see, you are much brighter than the lot of them. So what's your stake in this? You some sort of consulting detective?
Yes. I suppose you could call me that. My name is Sherlock Holmes, at your service.
Then do me a service, Mr. Holmes. Drop this case and don't tell anyone you saw me here. Let me enjoy my retirement in peace.
I have to ask, why are you so fascinated with beekeeping?
I just want a quiet life, away from the hustle and bustle. Watching the little workers like I once watched the criminal world of Cordona. Yes, it suits me just fine.
It's a strange image looking at yourself in 30 years.
I have your ear.
What the hell? Give it to me now.
All right, but let's make it a fair exchange, shall we?
I don't want your gun. It's got value to you as a sign of the man you once were. But I do want bees.
I want a few beehives in return. I have space in my garden. Who knows? Perhaps someday I might try my hand at beekeeping too.
Deal. Now go.
Besides which, I don't like doing violence.
I'll consider your request, sir. Either way, I must talk to Sergeant Stark.
Tell him I died a hero. Or a coward, I don't care. As long as they leave me alone.
Really, Sherry? Beehives? How old are you? 130? Unbelievable.
Alright. Well, that's our relationship with directly taking orders from the police done. From now on, we resume freelancing.
Sergeant Stark's back at his desk, across from the Chief Inspector's office.
Of course he is.
Any news, Mr. Holmes?
Chief Inspector Placido can be presumed dead. I was unable to find his body, but the evidence is unequivocal. He's gone.
I suppose I expected as much, but still it doesn't make it any easier. Placido was a good man. You would have liked him if you'd met him.
Yes, it's a pity. I'm sure I would.
In any case, no matter how bad, the truth is better than uncertainty. Please, take this as a token of gratitude. You've done us all a great service. Thanks again for your help. Good luck, Mr. Holmes.
The man deserves to be left alone.
Alright, what did that get us? An officer's cap. And a pair of Windsor glasses, it looks like. Okay. Well, I was going to the Chronicle anyway, so I guess that's convenient. If I could just remember how to get out of this crazy place. Alright. But man, I know we're in a mystery world, but seriously, to think the police are so useless even if they don't want anything to do with themselves. It's tragic goings on, but a man's done enough for a lifetime. I think he deserves his rest.
Come back once you've dealt with Panzer.
I don't even remember what I'm doing here for you. It's... Might not be in the papers. If it's an ongoing investigation, we probably should have stayed at the police station, actually. Me tante Mitsuda, that's me. Alright, let's see. Violent crimes, victims, instruments. Victim found in Miner's End, and the cause of death was blood loss from the severed hand. Location implies that the Righteous Gang was involved, but the current evidence is insufficient to support a search warrant. Right. Back into our gangster getup. And head out to Miner's End.
The cheapest news on the island. Thank you.
I love getting newspapers like this because it means I get to kill time just doing silly voices. Citizens across Miner's End and Silverton last night awoke to gunshots and screams, the byproduct of a substantial police sting targeting the hideouts of the Hive crime syndicate. This unprecedented operation has been in planning for almost 6 months and led to 13 arrests, per lead investigator Chief Constable Donovan. As Cordona police stormed the group's warehouses, many Hive ringleaders attempted to flee on a smuggling vessel loaded with weapons hidden inside wool crates. Officers learned of the escape plan and the ship was intercepted by a military patrol shortly after leaving the shores of Cordona. Once a powerful organization formed from the merger of several local gangs unified beneath one mysterious master, the Hive has appeared to be in decline for some time, the alleged result of its leader's death and subsequent factional infighting. Alright. Now we gotta find a thug of some sort to question regarding the Righteous Gang. You're a mason. You're a forger, you're good enough. And, buddy, it's cool. We all have our hobbies.
Do you know anything about this?
Brother, you found the right person to ask.
There's a yard behind the last two houses at the southern end of Carpenter Street. Most excellent. The poor and the needy can always find food and shelter. Right? Put on our vagabond's rags. can't buy happiness, but you can buy ice cream. Yeah, I think this is the look we're looking for. Southern end of Carpenter Street, huh? There's so many streets here. Carpenter Street, we're already on Carpenter Street. Down to the southern end. And we can fast travel real close by. It's convenient. Yard behind the last two houses on the southern end. And I can't go in there. Now this is Ripper Street. Is this the yard? Butcher, grocer. That's gross. See, I feel like I've seen this place before. Hello, child. Nope, we're going further afield.
Set up.
Here we are. Got a guard posted out front.
Could you help me?
I can't tell you because I don't know.
So we gotta go out back somehow.
Welcome, brother. You can always find food and shelter here.
I think this man is suffocating. We must help him.
Okay, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
His dry, hacking cough is getting worse by the second.
Alright.
His fingernails are blue.
That's not good. That's not good.
He has trouble catching his breath.
I gathered that, Sherlock.
Quickly, do something.
Okay, what do we do?
I think this man is suffocating. We must help him.
Gotta find medicine, gotta find medicine.
Different sizes, different colors. Some clothes are new.
Obey the boss, the helpless. Do not steal from the poor, do not kill without resistance, means to be punished in the arena of justice. Okay, great, but clothes.
Is this familiar to you?
You and I are the economic foundation of this island. We should help each other. But I don't know what you are talking about.
Thanks. Yeah, medicine.
Wow, that's a lot of food for the poor.
The gang might feed them, yes, but out of whose pockets does this all come?
Well, we know it's not the poor. Not sure what the problem is.
Look, here's some medicine. Could be useful.
Acetylsalicylic acid. Useless.
Useless. What's in... No. Matchbox?
A strong painkiller, but it won't help with asthma.
Nope.
Aha! Ether. That can stop the asthma attack.
Okay, great. Back we go.
The boss has a lot of work on his plate.
That's great. Excuse me, do none of you care that one of your guys is currently suffocating? Most, if not all the way to death?
God bless you, young man. Phew, that was close. But you saved him, Sherlock.
Okay. Alright, now, back to investigating crime. I'm pretty sure there wasn't actually a time limit there, but that was still a harrowing feeling.
The boss has a lot of work on...
That's far enough, little one. The boss is busy.
But I need to speak to him. It's urgent.
I'm sure it is. Look, there's going to be a fight in the arena today. So unless this building's on fire, it will have to wait.
What do you mean, a fight in the arena?
You're new around here, aren't you? The cretins who killed the priest will face trial by combat in the arena of justice. That's what you get for breaking the law. The boss didn't create it for nothing.
It's vitally important. Let me in, please.
You think the magic word will do the trick? No.
All right, I'm leaving.
So they're a band of Robin Hood-esque thieves who commit crimes specifically to fund charity. And also they partake in blood sports. And they don't even follow the first rule because they talk about it to strangers. The boss of the Raiders is going to punish the transgressors for violating the capital L law. The gang is low on members and he's already looking for new people to replace them. Interesting. Right, it looks like we're about done looking around the place.
I said the boss is busy. Stop testing my patience.
I hear the gang is looking for new members. I'd like to join you.
There's not enough meat on you. We've no use for a scrawny weakling.
I'm not scrawny, I'm just thin-boned. Besides, I know my way around a gun better than anyone in your gang, I'd wager.
You've got some nerve. See those bottles over there? Go on, shoot them. Show me how good you are.
See, this is easy. Bottles don't move out of the way. Points. And shoot.
Make yourself useful after all. Go on in then.
Hey, didn't I ask not to be disturbed? What's with the shooting out there?
Sorry about the bother. Your guard took a little convincing to let me in. Not to worry, though. Everything's fine, except for a few broken bottles.
Then what do you want with the righteous? Spit it out, I haven't got all day.
I'm here to talk to you about the murder of Father Alexandra.
Oh, that. Nasty business. Those responsible will soon be brought to justice.
Killing the priest doesn't strike me as very righteous. Why did they do it?
Every tree has a few rotten apples, doesn't it? They caught him stealing from our ladders. But there was no need for bloodshed. I gave no such orders. Alexandro might not have been one of us, but we were fighting a common enemy.
This enemy being who, exactly?
Not who. What? Poverty, inequality, and justice. We follow our law just as Alexandro followed his God's commandments.
What do you mean by justice? I doubt that you're planning to turn them into the police.
Of course I'm not. They will receive their punishment in the arena of justice.
So you're going to kill them just like that?
Watch your mouth, boy. I'm not a murderer. They brought it upon themselves. The law applies to all.
The murderers must be arrested, not lynched. Let me take them to prison.
Do you have some guts to barge in here and make demands? I don't know you, boy, and I don't care why you want to save their hides. But that is not happening.
Listen, I want them to pay for what they've done, but making them fight for their lives is savagery.
Savagery? So you think rotting in a cave, suffering daily beatings from the pigs, only to be eventually hanged and dumped in a gutter is better? You say you want justice? Fine, go down and fight. Let the arena decide. Whatever you do to them, or they do to you, will be just. That's my only offer. Take it, or get the hell out.
Alright, fine.
Alright, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty to see criminals behind bars.
If you make it out alive, I won't stop you. Don't assume they'll go down easily, though. They'll take their chances and give you no quarter.
Kind of defeats the
Today,
point of
justice is on your
fighting,
side,
or calling it justice if there's a chance the culprits can get no punishment if they're good at being criminals.
But for how long? The prison is unforgiving, and unlike here, their hands will be tied.
I fail to see your logic, sir. What I do know is that I'm no judge or executioner, and neither are you. Goodbye.
Right? That's your story.
Go on off with you.
Okay, it doesn't say we've collected all evidence yet.
You know the way out.
I can't get back in yet.
Look, here's some medicine. Could be useful.
Halfway here.
Such insanitary conditions. Horrific. These instruments are of inferior quality, but in capable hands they can save lives.
They even keep medical records. Impressive for a gang.
There we go. That's the last of it. Culprits will now be delivered to the police. Can't change clothes indoors. Pardon me, gents, I'll just be leaving now. I'll just be leaving as soon as I remember which of these places is the door. That case closed, and as a reward, we get a very casual outfit. And God will forgive you. John will not. Right. Let's see what else. Let's see. While we were walking down Silver Way and Miner's End, a strange monument of an empty cage near the mines caught my attention. John suggested that we take a closer look. Silver Way. Miner's End seems to be a real hotspot today. Bees. Silver Lane. Silver Lane. Silver and Gold. Silver Way. Is this what they meant? Can't imagine they'd do something that sloppy. Silver Way is pretty much just straight from here. Yeah, sure, I can keep the jacket off. It's hot outside today. Nope, that's completely the wrong direction. We're looking for the far side of the bridge. Head on down, we're looking for a monument of a birdcage. It shouldn't be that hard to find. At least compared to a poster. Oh, there's a fast travel point here the whole time. That's nice. Silver Way and Miner's End. Here's the end of the road. I guess it was too optimistic of me to assume it would be that easy. We can pin this evidence. Empty birdcage near the mines. Oh, there's the monument. Never ye mind. Never ye mine, either. That's for the working folks. Silver Hephaestus. A miner's canary made of silver.
It used to contain a silver statue of a miner's canary. They were often used by miners to detect fire damp.
Interesting.
For the ones who gave their lives in the silver mines, for the safety and prosperity of Miners' End, 1830.
And yet now, the canary is
The
missing.
lattice work was bent a long time ago. A gloomy picture,
But quite poetic. A symbol of safety and prosperity has vanished from Miner's End, and now only the cage is left to remind the residents of their past glory.
The canary was stolen a long time ago. There's no hope in finding it now, but perhaps someone might know at least something about it. We should ask the people around here.
Right, will anyone talk to us? Yep. Nothing that can't be solved by a quick wardrobe change, though.
Are you able to help me?
I'm too tired for your questions.
Right, fine. Guess I'll be the bigger jerk. I don't know.
Could you help me?
I'll tell you what I know, my friend.
You saw us change. You know we're the same person. Locus told us the story of the Silver Canary of Miner's End. There were times when Miner's End was prosperous, but that era came to an end when the silver mines were exhausted. Soon afterwards, investors lost interest in mining in Cordona, which caused severe unemployment and poverty on the island. From a symbol of safety and prosperity, the canary turned into a reminder of loss. People say that the Flowers of Good public house is the seat of local legend telling, is near the alley at the northern part of the Straight Road. Straight Road. Northern part of the Straight Road. Don't need to talk to anybody, so we don't need to wear a disguise. The Flowers of Good public house. The alley at the northern part of Lestrade Road. There's somewhere up there. So we veer around this way. Turn off to the side. Ignore those things that sound like gunshots because they are actually just hammer strikes. Go in this direction. Make note that we're going to have to turn at the next intersection. But it's not here. That's a wall. Sherlock does not have no-clip enabled. He's a great detective, but he's not a hacker. Go down this way. Past the sailor. Keep your eyes out for a soldier or candlestick maker. Hello, sir. Excuse me. No new news. We're now on the alleyway. I assume this is what they meant. This is not the alleyway, we're leaving it now. Go around through this, cut through here. And back on the Strad Road. Mayhaps I have misjudged their meaning. Turn back, run back down the street. Here's the Flowers of Good.
My grandma, God bless her, had known the man who was doomed us all.
What happened to the canary and why? At the Flowers of Good public house, we heard about a man who lost his family after an accident near the mines. He couldn't accept what happened to his loved ones, so he, drowning in grief, stole the canary, cast it into the sea, and left the island. Some say that he committed suicide shortly afterwards. Safety and prosperity have both been strangers to Miner's End ever since.
The thief died in grief. A poetic story for such an unpoetic place.
Safety is gone, and tears take the rest.
Man. Okay, we've been streaming for a while, but there is something I would like to do before we finish. We've made a decent amount of money just having money spontaneously manifest in our pockets after finishing cases. So I'd like to take a zip around.
Some clothes and help me feed my family.
I'm actually in the market for furniture right now.
Another man's furniture. I've nothing left in stock.
Okay. I'm a sucker for a good buy furniture side quest, I'm sorry. Okay, this is the only furniture trader on Miner's End. Is there really nothing on Silverton, or did I just miss it when I was on my way around the first time? There's two furniture stores right next to each other in Grand Sade. You earned it. Desmere, I know I earned the money in, like, gameplay terms, but, like, I don't know who's paying me for some of this. Like, I don't know who paid me to eavesdrop on those people in that bar. Alright, we're back in the mainland, so we should probably put our jacket back on and make ourselves look a bit more presentable. Run off in the direction of the furniture traders.
You'll never find such magnificent paintings anywhere. Sorry, I have nothing to offer you at present.
Okay.
Make your garden cozier. Sorry, I have nothing to offer you at present.
Wait, you're the same person. You were...
Make your garden cozier with our goods.
I mean, okay. If that's how we're playing it, okay, furniture. Fourniture. This furniture store up here. Head back on down the street. A lot of pharmacies around these places. We are almost there. We are almost there. We're halfway there.
The best antiques
We're
in the
half of
district.
halfway there.
Sorry, I've nothing to offer you at present.
Alright. That's a disappointment. That's all there is on Scalado. Scaladio. I'm pretty sure we cleaned this place out already, but for completion's sake... Marketplace is always need fresh
Oriental
fruit.
rug. I'm afraid I have nothing to offer, except my company.
Nope. Use that everywhere. Is there really nothing on Silverton? Maybe something in this central area I appear to have neglected. No, Sherlock, don't jump, you have so much to live for! No, this place looks pretty cleared out. Think I recognize that guy putting up that poster. Here's warehouse number 3. Finch and Cook. Is that warehouse number 3? No, warehouse number 3 is up there. That's just a cannery that just so happens to have a big number 3 on it. Similar but distinct concepts. Now that seems to be the last... Yeah, I think... Nope. Yeah, we've been here for a while. I think this is as good a place as any to call it an episode. Okay. Thank you all for spending time with me today. Next Thursday, we will attempt to investigate the other major gang on Cordona and see if we can't put this case to bed before we finish our work here on the island. But until then, thank you all for spending time with me. I appreciate it very much. And I'm now going to go to twitch.tv and check if there's anybody I would like to raid. Because that is a thing you do after finishing a stream. Interesting. Okay, that stream just ended. That's upsetting. What about you? What are you up to? Chat, I'm going to let you decide. Would you rather raid somebody playing Pokemon, or would you rather raid somebody playing a Pokemon ROM hack? Which of those concepts sounds more interesting to you? Retro Pokemon or something newer and more interesting? Pokemon hack, that's one vote for the Pokemon ROM hack. Desmere, speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay, I think survey says we're going to be looking at the hack. But until then, thank you all for visiting me today. I had a lot of fun, despite the fact that I sound like this. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves too. We will be raiding Uniduke. Please treat them with all the respect and dignity you treated me today. And I will see you all on Thursday. Goodbye.